So thank you. It's very interesting to talk after José Pedro Castro, especially because what he is mentioned, and I'm not a doctor nor a scientist, I'm a sociologist, and I'm going to talk a little bit about this connection between this new vision for aging and longevity and how it touches and is shaping the economy. So what we see is we are living in a moment when we are changing the paradigm. So at the beginning, in the decade of 18 of last century, when World Health Organization start looking at the aging process globally, they start talking about aging, and now the conversation changed to longevity. And when we realize that there is an economical potential related to the aging of the societies, we start talking about this 50 plus in the economy, like silver economy nowadays, longevity economies. But now with this new conversation start looking at all ages, as José Pedro Castro, for example, shows. In what I understood is, for example, if we don't want to develop some sort of diseases, we need to start looking at the very beginning, when he shows the development of the inflammation process. And also in the beginning, we start talking that health and my longevity is my own responsibility. And nowadays we see that it's not only my responsibility, but it's a responsibility of all the society. So when we put together longevity medicine and public and private investments, what we see is clearly it's changing the way we look at a longevity. So from what I've learned is it's like in a trail railroad. We see longevity and aging coming together, but in certain moments it will be only one way to talk and engage with the different issues related to longevity. So the first one, it's when I'm start and I have a consultancy company, and in the consultancy company we were helping the clients to develop their business, profit or non-profit.
In progress.
They start looking how we can address the longevity, and I was in a moment like 3 or 4 years ago, start attending longevity medicine conferences. And the first time I saw this exposoma concept, I was like, this is very interesting, and I'm not want to go very deeply into, because this is a very scientific, and as I mentioned, I'm not a doctor. But from a sociological and economical perspective, it's very interesting to understand that if we go for a conversation focused on biological age, as far as I understood, my biological age is built based on two things, my choices, my heritage, and the environment that I live in. So if I have a house that helps me to be healthy, if I live in a neighborhood, if I have access to some sort of food, if I can do exercises, or if I have a proper doctor that helps me to deal, or if I have money to do that. So clearly this is exposoma concept helps me to understand that longevity is not only one's people duty, is also a society duty. So this is why I say that longevity is nowadays a problem of all of us. So I'm responsible for my own longevity, but I'm also responsible for other people's longevity. If we bring it to the economic conversation, this is very interesting. as a result of this, what I've seen, and here is a example. I think this Milan Triennale exhibition still till the end of November. I'm not sure. But Nick Palmerini, together with the guys of this museum, developed this concept of the longevity republic, and this the exercise they did reinforce this idea of we are all responsible for each one of us longevity. And they said longevity is a matter of citizenship. So we as citizens, we have the right and the duty to manage our own longevity. I'm going to say index. And this is also very interesting because if we look at responsible social responsibility, and when we talk about social responsibility and we cross with these two concepts, we see clearly why we are all responsible for other people's longevity. Then this is a part of a video that the Prince Albert II of Monaco is on Instagram. Is a video that he is doing the welcome for the Samorit's Longevity Forum, and basically what he says is what I'm trying to tell you is longevity is not only more than living longer, but is developing a society with all of us can be. It is this in opening a parenthesis here. For me, this is an ideal that we should follow and work to make it as real as possible. So in an ideal world, longevity is a society where we can be in our best shape in any life stage, in any age. So this is a kind of conversation that we start seeing in a politician's mouth. So people are really changing how we define longevity. But not only that, then we see if you look at in the consumer perspective, we also see this change, not only and the picture in yellow, not only redefining the way how we talk and see aging, but now we see a new category of consumption, which is, for example, this idea of longevity as a mentality that consumers, we are all consumers, but consumers are following. When we see, for example, Nivea's Beiersdorf brand saying that if you use this moisturize, it will help you to decrease your skin biological age. This kind of conversation, this kind of words are now used. But the other very interesting thing, and there are a lot of examples. If you go, for example, on Instagram, you see people start giving a step back using technology. So looking for free technology retreats, start building resorts or places or houses or coffee shops where you can also read a book, so giving a step back because they understand that too much technology, too much stress, I'm going to say too much cortisol will clearly have a damage on your longevity. Then, of course, the easiest way to see is in the tourism. But in these two examples, I want to highlight the home as a new longevity center. It means that the real estate industry, the urbanism industry, or the civil construction industry will clearly change to address longevity. So what kind of materials will I use if I want to build a longevity house? What kind of inks, what kind of furniture I'm going to put in it? What kind of technology I'm going to embed it to have my house as a longevity-friendly house. So this is the kind of things that people are looking for more and more when we have the conversation that, for example, José Pedro Castro had, translated in a very accessible conversation. You know, people are very interested in understand what happens in our body. We see it start in the wellness industry and in the wellness mindset. So here I bring two other examples. And also when I see this change in terms of age-friendly city to a longevity-friendly city. So these are two different concepts. You know. An age-friendly city nowadays, they say this is a city for all ages, is more related to micro areas like mobility in general, like social inclusion. And when we look at as a longevity city perspective, the health vision has a much more has a bigger impact. You know, if we are designing a longevity city, it's a little bit different from designing a age-friendly city. So we see how the conversation is changing. Like this other picture, like longevity world aims to democratize health span more than living longer, is living with a health in a good health, you know. I just found out this to prepare this presentation, you know, but for me wasn't a very big news, because when I start seeing that a lot of people talking about, and especially people related to an investment, people linked and working with the banks or in insurance, when they start talking about biological age, biomarkers, we said, okay, probably we are going to a situation where someone will develop a longevity index, and and probably in the near future, the countries will be evaluated by their own longevity index, or the rate they have in some, like, for example, this is not a real thing that I'm just guessing. Imagine that Bloomberg developed a longevity index. So Bloomberg start ranking countries based on this. And if a country is rated by a longevity index, probably the cities, the companies, you know, so this is the kind of conversation we see nowadays. As a sociologist and as a person that is deeply committed to bring this conversation to the public arena and engage with different stakeholders. And if we look at this is a picture. So if you go to the Longevity Global Index, and you have here the link, if you go there and see the conversation, so they want to have this to help people, the politicians, to take better decisions. This is not only that, you know, it has an economic impact. I'm not saying this is bad or good. I'm saying this is a reality. So we need to engage with it. We need to be deeply aware of this. And this is a concrete example in this teaser document they produce. You can see here, they already make this exercise. So in the green colors, you have the countries that are better in this global longevity index. In the more red or brown, you see the countries that are more better that are worse in this index. You know? So this is the reality nowadays. Then also going back to the consumption, you see different examples. I highlight your attention to this Chanel resort in Africa, or this example in an airport in Japan. So clearly people are starting engaging with this new vision of longevity and understanding that since the very beginning, we need to have a more preventive mentality regarding to our health and looking as a health as a very broad concept. All of this, I want to bring you more and more for this political conversation, and we saw this very polemic Kennedy senator. I don't want to highlight too much all the things that he is saying, but it's quite important when you have a person with his role saying that people should use wearables to measure how the body perform, and we know what happened. A lot of conversations came after this public, or should not be public, conversation between Putin and Xi Jinping related to longevity, how to promote the population living longer. So this kind of conversation is clearly being strategic for countries, So what we see is more and more we are looking at longevity as a new area of the economy, and more we see longevity linked to the ESG, And just a quick example, this is a study we made in Portugal for the Gulbenkian Foundation. So they asked us to make a benchmark of Portugal related to 38 countries worldwide. What we did is we found these 5 reference countries. So we identify some areas where we can see how the countries that are more developed in looking at longevity as a strategic for their economy and the society, what kind of things they have already done. And this is I don't want to go into this, but it's interesting to see how countries are already developing a strategy. So these are some countries that we've been following how they evolve through the years, and and I would like to highlight Ireland, because usually people don't talk too much about Ireland. We talk a lot about Switzerland, Japan, Netherlands, and even France. But Ireland was, in 2005, a country in Europe that they invest a lot, They invest around 20 million euros to develop a strategy to be, in 2020, the first age-friendly country, according to the World Health Organization's definition of what should be an age-friendly country. But in 2015, they were already start to implement a strategy to be, in 2040, the healthiest country worldwide. So, and they are not they are not too aged compared with other countries in Europe, especially with Portugal. For those who don't know, we are the 4th aged country, or in some statistics, we are the 3rd aged country worldwide. So Ireland is putting a lot. They are the first, as I know, to develop this ecosystem mindset, to develop the strategy and start implementing and start training people on longevity, in economic classes. So bring it the topic, and the kind of rationale I want to develop in my presentation is to show you that longevity is nowadays a very important and powerful area of the global economy. And if you look in any society, the fact that people are living longer affect almost all areas in our economy. So countries, people, economies, companies should look at this with the proper eyes, I'm going to say, and understand how they address the longevity challenges, you know. And it's very interesting to have familiar people in this conference, because we were like 2 weeks ago. Nico, José Pedro Castro, I know that Silvia Neira will be here, and also the Ambassador Galegos, and in a conference in Portugal. And I want to highlight what Ambassador Galegos said. And he said, the development of this new area of the economy, the consumption will have a lot of impact. So with all the expertise he has, with a very interesting power that the GIA Longevity Foundation has done, all the projects they have done during these years, it's very clear for them the impact of longevity in the economy in a very different ways. So just to start finalizing my presentation and synthesize the ideas, is you should understand that longevity is a very important area of the global economy. You should understand that if you look at ESG, and if you this trend of having most of the countries, and I'm talking about Africa. Africa is a different situation. They are not aging so fast as we are here in Europe or Latin America, North America, or some Asian countries. But having a world with most of the population being an adult, being active in terms of economic perspective, we see that we are working more or less in the same hours of the day. So it has a very significant impact. For example, if you look at the energy consumption. So we really need to understand that longevity is playing a very important role. And also something that for me is very critical is, and going back to the Milan exposition, is we need to understand that longevity is really a matter of citizenship. Otherwise, the longevity will be another factor to promote the fragmentation within the society, for those who have access and those who have not. Those who have the literacy, a good literacy level to understand what is affecting their biological age, and those who have no ability to understand what we are talking about. So taking all of this in consideration, I would like to share with you two new concepts we developed at the 40 Plus Lab company. We came with this concept of longevity-driven economy. So we are not talking about longevity economy, we are talking about longevity-driven economy. The difference is, by definition, longevity economy is the economy, that the impact of 50 plus people in the economy. And here, this is not what we are talking about. Also, longevity social governance as a part of ESG, you know, based on what I just said, in terms of, for example, the environment impact of a global predominance of adults in a society. So as a Portuguese, you know, people say that, yeah, Portugal gave, and it's true, we gave world to the world, you know, when the discovery times. So we see longevity as really a new ocean to explore. The things are moving too fast. The impact of AI, for example, in clinical trials, you know, so you have different things working together, with more and more money being on the table to finance new research, new startups. You know, the revolution we are living is amazing, you know. So longevity is clearly for me, in my perspective, is a new ocean to explore, and we need to do that. We cannot escape from this reality. So this is basically what I would like to share with you, and finally highlight these ideas that we need to look at longevity as a reality. Is no more only a trend. Is a reality, has a lot of economic and social impacts, and yeah, we need to work together, you know, to really take this into consideration and build a better world for all of us. So I think this is it.